I'm not a cheese connoisseur by any means.
Just one Christmas wish for me, not underneath no Christmas tree. Yes, just one Christmas wish for me, not underneath no Christmas tree. Yes.
Previously on. So somehow I got stuck sitting in front of the chatty Kathy. Good morning, crew, and welcome back to my channel for Vlogmas day number 7. We're now up to fingers that I can't show in one hand. I am currently editing and exporting Vlogmas day number 6, as you guys can see. So if you haven't watched that, stop right here. I'll link it right there for you to watch and then come back to this video. So as I said last night, we had 2 on-call days left. Well, that has changed. I put in for something called a trip drop for one of my last on-call day, and I got approved. So technically today is my last day, and I was recently awarded a Fort Lauderdale turn out of JFK. So the trip is not commutable, so I will not be able to commute home tonight. I will have to try and commute home on the first flight in the morning tomorrow. But I also listed this flight for Jetway Trade, and for those of you who do not know what that is, it's basically where you put up a portion or a leg, which means one flight, of your trip up for another flight attendant to pick up, and they would work that portion that they agreed to pick up. So I put, since it's a turn, I'm doing JFK to Fort Lauderdale to JFK. I put up the Fort Lauderdale to JFK portion. Let's cross our fingers and be hopeful that someone picks it up, because that way I would be able to commute from Fort Lauderdale back home. Another thing to mention is that I am the lead flight attendant on this trip, my least favorite position, but we're on call, so we do what we take what they give us, and we take it graciously. So it is currently 10:38. Hopefully you guys can see that, and I don't think I report until after 2 p.m. so I have a few hours to myself. I need to go figure out what I'm gonna eat. I do have food, but I want to reserve that for the flight. And then the next thing I need to look into is I'll probably be sleeping in the airport, not technically sleeping, but staying over in the airport once my trip releases tonight, if I don't get the Jetway Trade, because it releases close to midnight and there's no point in me spending money if I'm going to take the first flight of the morning. So we'll have an airport sleepover tentatively. I'll come back and speak to you guys when I have a next update, so I will see you guys in the next clip. Hey crew, so we have made it to Fort Lauderdale, one leg down, one to go, and as always this flight was a lot of work, but once I get back to New York we will have a crew debriefing on both flights. Hopefully the next flight is uneventful, but it is 100% full, so we'll see. I'll see you in the next clip.
Do you slide on all your nights like this? Do you try on all your nights like this?
Hey crew, so as promised, I am back to speak to you guys. It is 12:43. Obviously at this point no one picked up my Jetway Trade, and I am back in New York. I've been back for a little over an hour, but I wanted to end out this vlog and do a crew debriefing of what happened on this Fort Lauderdale turn. Like I told you guys earlier, I was the lead flight attendant, so I was working up front in first class. Fun fact, I don't prefer to work in first class, but when you're on call you can't really be picky because you work what they give you basically. So first thing, the flight from JFK to Fort Lauderdale was 2.5 hours, and from the beginning it was eventful. So this aircraft has a closet, like a coat closet, that we hang up first class passengers I hope you guys can still hear me. First class passengers, bags, I'm sorry, coats and stuff like that. So this passenger gets on and he just decides to start collecting the hangers and hanging his stuff in there, and I'm like, excuse me, sir. And he's ignoring me. I'm like, excuse me, sir. And he's like, yeah. I said, what are you doing? And he's like, my garment needs to be hung up. I said, okay, well, you could have asked me or told me so I can hang it up for you. And he's like, well, I don't see what the big deal is. I said, well, the big deal is that you can't just put anything in here without me knowing. That's a security issue. I don't know whose stuff this is. I don't know. I can't account for it. And you're just doing it like you own the plane. Well, he didn't like that, but hello. I had no problem with his stuff going in there. He wasn't in first class, but still, at least let me know. With Florida, it's always something going on with the mask. People want to get an attitude when you ask them to put their mask up. Other passengers are complaining about certain passengers not wearing their mask, and that's just like an ongoing thing that I expect on these flights. So obviously we dealt with that. The next thing that I found really strange was on this flight there was a meal, and it was like kind of like those charcuterie, I don't know if I'm saying that right, boxes like with the meat, crackers, and cheese and stuff like that. And I got 3 minutes to get this story out, so I better talk fast. So this lady orders that as her meal. When I hand it to her, her husband's like flagging me down, so I'm thinking something's wrong. Like maybe I gave her the wrong meal, because I'll get into that right after this. And she's like, this doesn't have cheese. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, let me look at it. So I take it to the back and I open it, and the cheese is sitting like right there. Like, I'm not a cheese connoisseur by any means, because I really don't eat cheese like that, but I could see mozzarella, like I can recognize that. And I'm like, well, ma'am, the cheese is right here. And she's like, oh, well, it's not the cheese that I expected, so I don't want it. I'm like, okay. Next thing is, like I said, I was A. Well, I haven't been A in a while because I don't like flying A, and with there being meals, you have some manifest, so you have to get their drink order, their meal order, so on and so forth. And I write it down on a piece of paper. Some people do it differently. That's what works for me. Well, child, I was writing the people in row 1's meal on row 5. The people who were in the B seat, I wrote their meal on the A seat. It was a mess. When I went to go drop the meals and the drinks, I'm like, the guy's like, I didn't order this. And I'm like, ooh, I clearly need to go back and figure out what I did on this piece of paper. It was so bad, I couldn't even read my own handwriting. When I went back to give one of the last passengers their drink, to make their drink, I couldn't figure out what it was. I was literally standing there like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and talk to him, ask him again, but I finally figured it out. Now, we were a little delayed leaving New York, so it kind of affected our departure time leaving Fort Lauderdale, which was also delayed. And the flight from Fort Lauderdale to New York was 2 hours and 12 minutes. If you guys don't know, my favorite scene from Key and Peele is like that turbulence skit where like it's a flight attendant in their jump seat and they're like bumping around. That was me in my jump seat. That's how bad the turbulence was on the flight coming back here. And then there was this cute little boy when he boarded. He was sitting in first class. He was like, excuse me, I have a question. Do you have any wings? And I was like, I'll check for you. I don't know if we have any right now, but once we finish boarding, I'll check. And asked him what seat he was in. So I went and got him the wings. Excuse me. So when we were deplaning, he like pointed to his wings and he pointed to mine. He was the cutest thing ever. If only all passengers can be like that. Okay, I have 1 minute left, so this is the end of the vlog. Thank you so much if you've made it to the end. And as always, stay safe and see you soon in Vlogmas day number 7 or 8. I don't know. Bye. So really quick, I have to come back and speak to you guys again. Obviously, I'm on my phone now because my camera is out of memory. Because this flight got in so late, we are doing an airport sleepover. I'm not really sleeping. I'm just going to sit in the lounge because my flight to commute back home. She just had to interrupt. Anywho, my flight to commute back home is at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it didn't make sense for me to leave. So I don't know if I told you guys that I dropped one of my on-call days. So today was technically day 2, but because I dropped one, today was day 1, like the last day. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So for real this time, I will see you guys in the next vlog, which I can't even keep track of the days at this point. So bye.
Not